my lovelies. In this video I have another scrapbook process for you with the Thompson's Craft Supplies January Mixed Media Kit, which is the steampunk patina themed kit. Now this is a scrapbook page that has quite a lot of elements to it. It's quite a complex one with lots and lots of things going on, so it is a slightly longer video than normal, but I'm going to try not to like rush the voiceover through it. So if there's anything I miss describing how I did it or anything, please feel free to ask. But yes, I started off with this paper from the kit, and knowing full well that I was going to be putting an awful lot of things on it, I put a layer of clear gesso on just to make sure it was extra sturdy. It did, unfortunately, because that was a really high gloss paper, it did get rid of a bit of the gloss, but it was, you know, it was worth the payoff kind of thing for make sure it was nice and sturdy. So there's the other main element of the this layout as well, which is the little mini canvas that came with the kit. It is just under 6x6 in size, and I'm just using these paints just to sort of do a very basic background. Those paints there, you didn't see me mix them because I actually used them in my last Thompson's scrapbook process video. These two videos were kind of filmed at the same time, so like when one was drying, I was doing a bit of the other. So if you see like bits and pieces on screen that don't end up getting used in this video, that's why. It's because I was doing them both kind of at the same time. So the next thing I did, as you saw, I kind of drew around the canvas just to give me a rough idea of where it was going to go and where I needed to put things and where I didn't need to bother to put things in the background. I started off with the brown acrylic from the kit, just sponging it on there just because I knew I was going to do some stenciling and I wanted to have a background. That ends up being something that I didn't actually need to do. You will see why eventually. I'm also haven't shown you the picture I'm scrapping yet, because at this stage I couldn't decide between two pictures. I should have probably just shown you the two pictures and then, you know, my thought process as to how, like, which one I chose, but never mind, you will see the picture eventually. So I am using some Ranger crackle paste mixed with the seafoam paint from the kit, and then stenciling on using that stencil, which was an add-on item. Now that stencil, obviously with the cogs and the gears and stuff, is it's like it shows the negative space of the pattern. You're not actually seeing the cogs and gears, you're seeing the inside of them, and that's why I used the green rather than doing it in a copper or a gold or something, because I wanted it to be like the insides of the cogs and stuff, and that's also why I used the crackle paste to kind of make it look a bit rusty and stuff like that. So I added some more gold to my canvas because I wasn't over keen on that green really, and I'm just mixing the blue paint from the kit with some gesso just to make it nice and sturdy for going through that stencil. I realise my stencil is super dirty. I made a bit of an error in that the last time I used it I waited too long before I cleaned it, about half an hour or something, and it was just impossible to get completely clean, unfortunately, but these things happen. Adding a little bit more of the blue because I wanted my canvas to be super pretty. Oh, there is my picture there, but I don't have time to talk about it right now. I shall talk about it in a bit. But now I am using the gold paint and a paintbrush to go around those cog innard shapes. I don't know how else to say it, but yes, just using the paintbrush, which does mean that the brown I did in the background wasn't actually necessary, but you know, these things happen, you change your mind and whatnot. But knowing that I was going to make the canvas quite pretty rather than grungy, I decided to add more gold instead of like the darker brownie and the copper and that kind of thing. So I haven't left all of that in because it took me a very long time. This whole video, by the way, even after I'd sped it up, I still had over an hour of footage, so I have cut out an awful lot just to make sure that the video wasn't just very long. But yes, I also added big chunks, that's the wrong word, but you know, big flunky bits of paint onto where I did the painting, just to add more texture and stuff. And again, I'm doing the same on the canvas just to make nice lumpy bits of gold. That's not a very good word, is it? Lumpy. Anyways, those bits there are from the rice paper or decoupage there we go, sheet. I just fussy cut out that clock to put on my canvas, and I'm just applying that with some 3D gloss gel. I'll talk about why I chose the clock in a bit it will make sense when I talk about my picture as well. But yes, and then the other two I just kept as the sort of, they're kind of journal card size, like the 3x4, maybe slightly under. But yes, I did cut them in certain ways so they weren't perfectly cut, and they have slightly rounded edges or a bit jaggedy in some places. On a layout like this, you don't want them to be too perfect, really. And again, I'm applying them with the 3D gloss gel on the top and the bottom to make them super shiny. And something that I think I may have accidentally cut out but didn't mean to is I also added quite a thick layer of the Ranger Crackle accents on top of those rice paper pieces, just to, you know, make them nice and crackly, really. But it's also, it's not it is transparent, that's the word I'm looking for, so you can see through the crackles onto them. Now those cog gear things, those are fussy cut from one of the papers. They did take a while to fussy cut. You can see the edges obviously aren't straight, they're like sticky outy, so it took a while, but I think it was worth it because the effect I think is really, really nice. And now I am adding some micro beads, my new favorite thing. Micro beads, well, they're not my favorite thing when they get everywhere. There is just no way to not get them everywhere. But anyways, I'm just painting on some 3D gloss gel around some of the areas. I didn't want to have it in all of the gaps because that would be like too much, and this layout is already kind of too much as it is. So I'm just putting them on little areas like that. Oh look, there's my picture. Let's talk about it now, shall we? So that picture is the super cute one of my dad and myself when I was about 18 months old, and he's like building a table or something. I'm not sure. I asked him and he couldn't remember what it was, but we're building something and I am, quotation marks, helping him. I'm sure 18-month-old was a real great help when building something like that. But it's just really super cute, and like he's helping me, and he's like helping me hold the hammer, obviously, because you would do with an 18-month-old. And it's just, I just find it really, really, really cute. And I think it goes well like with the kit, because obviously the whole steampunk thing, so building something works. But also you can see there is the Bramble Fox piece that says create on it, which I'm using for my title, and I thought it would work because I think this picture kind of shows how I have been creating ever since I was a wee tiny human. So yes, I think I'm actually going to hang this in my craft room or something, just to be like, look, creating is your thing that you do, Grace. But yes, anyway, so there's the picture as well. And the thing about the clocks I mentioned earlier is that my dad is really into clocks. He's a clock man. He can fix them and tinker with them and know how they work and stuff and all that really complex stuff. So that's why there's also a load of clocks on here as well, because it's my dad. I do end up covering more of my stenciling in the background than I had intended to, but it's, you know, it's fine. It is what it is. The main bit you can see of the stencil is the number 13, which you might think is weird, and it wasn't necessarily on purpose, but I was born on the 13th of a month, and it's my favourite number, so I'm happy. I'm fine with the 13 staying there. So lots and lots and lots of different elements going onto this canvas. With the 3D gloss gel, I am adding the little mini beads, the sort of orangey ones from Prima that came with the kit, the micro beads in copper. I'm also adding micro beads in the grass colour. Those are not from the kit, those I think I got from Amazon, I think, but the green of the grass coloured one sort of helps with the sort of the idea of the patina. And there's something else I add as well. Oh look, there it is right there. There is some glass glitter which I'm adding as well, which is kind of funny because that glass glitter is going to be shown in something I bought video tomorrow, so you're seeing it being used before I've actually technically got it, kind of thing. But anyways, moving on, you know what I mean. I'm adding those little flowers there. Pretty much everything is stuck on with the gloss gel. I don't know why I keep saying its name. It's from Prima, it's the Art Basics, in case anyone doesn't know. So those flowers, the brighter turquoisey one is Prima, and the more pastel coloured one is from 49 and Market, as is the leaf, and again from the kit. Those little metal embellishments I'm putting down there, the clocks are not from the kit. The little cogs and keys are, but the clocks I got from eBay in just a mixed bag of metal embellishments. And I've just remembered that when I mentioned that in my last video about using this kit, that I said I would link them, and I've completely forgotten to do that. So I'm going to try and remember to do that this time, and then hopefully put the link on the older video as well. Whoopsie! It was just a great little bag for a couple of quid, like 40 little metal embellishments. I will try to remember to put the link. If I haven't, feel free to moan at me. Anyway, so yes, putting those on and then just putting more stuff around them, the beads, the glass glitter, the micro beads, just I keep going and going. And now I'm adding some of the Prima gems. I lost the word gem there for a second. And even though they are adhesive backed, I did put more of the gel on the back of them just because, you know, there's so much going on there. You just want to make sure they're going to stay in place, really. And one more metal embellishment, I think. Oh no, another one does go on later, but this is the other clock, so I'm just putting that there, but sort of buried in amongst the flowers, and there we go. So once all that was dry, as you can see it's dry because all the white has disappeaed because the gel dries transparent. I'm just, with a makeup sponge, adding the gold acrylic over the word create so you can see it a little bit better and it stands out more. And then putting like a little bit of blue and some gold on the heart so they stand out and stuff. It's just that the Bramble Fox piece, it actually comes up darker in video than it actually is, but it is quite a dark coppery bronze colour. It's not a bright one, so I had to do something to make that word stand out a bit. And it was at that stage that I realised my very sort of blue and sparkly pretty canvas wasn't tying in very well with my 1212 background, so I dabbed a load of blue onto all that area just to help, you know, tie the two in together, really, and I think that worked. And then I wanted to back the canvas as well, and I remembered my first edition Wildflower paper pad had definitely had a bluish greenish something that was shiny, or well, technically it's pearlescent, but shiny, and I thought that would make a great backing. That first time I decided the border was a little too wide, so I cut it down a bit more because just have like a 1/4 of an inch border, and I think that works well, and it brings the two main elements together more. I also distressed the edge of that backing paper and then put some paint over it because I didn't want it to be too clean cut. This is steampunk patina themed, so we want it to look a bit, you know, just a bit raggedy, rough around the edges. There I am adding some brads from the kit, just like in the little cogs and stuff where they look like they might be if they were real cogs. I don't know. And I just put washi over the back of those just so they don't, like, you know, catch on anything or anything like that. Also, I pushed one a little bit too hard through, so I was just sort of making sure that was nice and sturdy and no accidents were going to happen. So I am sticking my paper on with gel again. That's matte gel, actually, because it doesn't need to be glossy if it's not seen. Usually I would just use double-sided tape, but again, because of all that stuff going on in the background with the mixed media, you want something really that you know is going to stay there nice and sturdy. So next are the sequins from Spiegelbaum Scraps. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but there we go. I used these in my art journal spread. I'll tell you what I will do is I will link the other 2 videos using this kit if you haven't seen them and you're interested in what else I used with the kit. I still have loads of it left, despite making 3 quite busy, heavy mixed media projects. I've still got loads and loads left, but yes. I did spend about 20 minutes adding these sequins, so I have cut a fair bit of that out because that would be boring to watch all of that. But yes, I did make sure there was quite a few green ones because green was a colour I'd kind of neglected on this layout. And yes, there was quite a lot of thought in where they went. Actually, it wasn't very random this time. Usually when I do something with sequins, it is random, but not this time. Now, lots and lots of gel going on the back of that canvas because I want that baby to stay there. And obviously, it's not very heavy. The canvas itself was probably about 30 grams. And then with all the stuff on top of that, makes it, I don't know, a bit heavier. But that's still quite a lot of weight to be putting on a piece of cardstock. So you just want to make sure it's nice and stuck on there. And I did just sit there for about 2 or 3 minutes holding it in place. I think I just put a tune on and just sat there and had a little dance while my hands were pressing down on it. One of the last things now, we are nearing the end, people. In the kit were these little vials of micro beads, and I decided I wanted one of those on there. Something that was kind of going between the canvas and the background. So what I did is I poured out some of the micro beads into my micro bead pot because I wanted it to be just like kind of half empty so they'd move around a bit. I put some gloss gel on the cork top to make sure, you know, that it was going to stay there because you don't want that to pop off in, you know, like a month's time and micro beads go everywhere. and then, yes, attach that. And then I found that little hammer metal embellishment. I was like, oh my goodness, I have to use that because of what's in the picture, obviously. So yeah, that went on as well. And I put a little bit more glass glitter on that as well, because otherwise it would look a bit random and not match what's going on in the rest of the layout. Yeah, and then the last thing, we have reached the end, people, are the Nuvo drops, which you kind of put in the same way as I put those brads, kind of where there might be metal things if they were real, but just on a couple of them, just to enhance some of the background pieces, not all of them. And there it is. It is finished. One of the longest voiceovers I've done in quite a while. But yes, it's very, very busy, but yes, I had great fun doing it, and I've had great fun with this steampunk mixed media kit. The February kit is obviously out on the 1st of February, and my video showing what's in the kit will be out tomorrow on Saturday the 27th. So yes, keep an eye out for that. I'm very excited about this kit. But yes, there we go, finished. Thank you so much for watching. I will put links to Thompson's Craft Supplies and other videos and stuff. All the things that I mentioned earlier in the video will be down there. So okay, thank you again. I am going. Bye.